So, Mr. Lynn, what evidence do you have that your separation from the think tank was to do with Google's kind of intervention?
Oh, there's a number of points of evidence. For instance, at the day that we actually put up the notice, there was a conversation immediately after that with Anne-Marie Slaughter, who's the head of the think tank, in which she said, I just got off the phone with Google, I got off the phone with Eric Schmidt, and they're pulling all of their support, including the support for your group. Okay. So, and there were there's other evidence as well. This is actually a pattern that has taken place over a period of a couple of years.
Now, in fairness, there's a difference, isn't there, between trying to censor public debate, which is your charge. You said that Google's trying to censor journalists and researchers. There's a difference between trying to censor you and deciding they don't want to pay for you. I mean, that is quite a big difference, isn't it?
Oh, Google doesn't pay for me.
Well, they were paying for the
Google
think tank to which you were attached.
I raised well, they pay for parts of the think tank to which I'm attached, but my unit was an independent unit. We raise our money from foundations. We raise our money from foundations that support public interest work. And that's what we've been doing for 15 years. So I have been, and my unit has been at New America for a long time. We've been doing this work for a long time.
Yeah,
and
but you
we have never had any problems.
But that's a very interesting point, because you've been doing it for a long time. Google apparently tolerating, you know, your campaign against Google monopoly capitalism and whatever else you've been researching. But you effectively perhaps just crossed the line with that last press release, which didn't even, as I understand it, have a report to back it up. It was just a reaction to the EU fining Google and saying, great news, Google's being fined by the EU.
It was actually support for a decision that was aimed at ensuring that we have a political economy in the United States and Europe that is diverse, in which power is not concentrated. That's what the decision was about. Our unit has been focusing on ensuring that there is going to be that we're not going to see a massive concentration of power over the political economy of the United States in the hands of a few private individuals. That's what we've been doing for 15 years. That's what we will continue to do. That is what, apparently, from as far as we can tell, that's what Google moved to suppress.
Interestingly, if you were doing this 20 years ago, you would probably been campaigning against Microsoft and not worried about Google. 10 years ago, it might have been MySpace. Actually, 10 years ago, The Guardian here carried an article on the monopoly that MySpace threatens us with. These things do come and go, don't they?
Well, they come and go only if actually there is effective antitrust enforcement. And one of the things that you mentioned, the Microsoft case. The Microsoft case was the case in which the Department of Justice of the United States brought an action against Microsoft, and in doing so, they created the space for the rise of new companies, including Google.
Okay, Barry Lynn, thank you very much.